You ever run out of gas on a road trip? Sucks, right? Now imagine you're flying a fighter jet, hundreds of miles from home, with enemy missiles on your tail. Not the time to hit E on the fuel gauge. That's where aerial refueling comes in. The ultimate life hack for pilots. Fighter jets are built for speed, not fuel efficiency. They guzzle gas like a thirsty camel. That's why we got these flying gas stations, big old tanker aircraft. This is precision flying at its finest. When it works, it's a thing of beauty, a testament to the skill of the pilots. So how do you turn a multi-million-dollar fighter jet into a hummingbird, sipping nectar from a metal flower? It all starts with a simple concept. Get two planes close enough together to pass fuel through a hose. Easier said than done, right? There are two main ways to do it, probe and drogue and flying boom. The probe and drogue method is like using a straw. The tanker plane trails a hose with a basket on the end, the drogue, and the receiver aircraft has a probe that sticks out front. The pilot maneuvers the probe into the drogue and voila, fuel flows. The flying boom method is a bit more hands-on. The tanker has a rigid boom with a nozzle on the end, and an operator on board actually flies the boom into the receptacle on the receiving aircraft. It's like threading a needle at 300 mph, and it takes nerves of steel. Both methods have their pros and cons, but the goal is the same. Keep those jets fueled up and ready for action. Imagine trying to hold hands with someone while riding a roller coaster. That's kind of what aerial refueling is like. First, the tanker and receiver aircraft establish contact. Next comes the rendezvous. The receiver approaches the tanker, matching its speed and altitude. This ain't no time for hot dogging, folks. Once they're in position, the real fun begins. The receiver pilot guides the probe into the drogue basket. A little nudge here, a little adjustment there, and click, they're connected. Once the fuel transfer is complete, the receiver disconnects and banks away. Section 4. The price of staying airborne. Facts, figures, and famous flybys. All this high-flying action don't come cheap, folks. A single aerial refueling mission can cost tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the aircraft involved and the duration of the operation. Fuel ain't free, and neither is the training and expertise of the pilots and boom operators. But here's the thing. Compared to the cost of a grounded mission, or worse, a lost aircraft and crew, aerial refueling is a bargain. It's an investment in safety, flexibility, and the ability to project air power anywhere in the world, and it's been used to great effect in countless missions throughout history. Remember the Operation El Dorado Canyon in 1986? U.S. Air Force F-111 bombers flew over 6,000 miles from bases in England to strike targets in Libya, thanks to multiple aerial refuelings along the way. Talk about a long-distance relationship. Section 5. From dogfights to long hauls, how aerial refueling keeps missions flying high. Aerial refueling ain't just about extending the range of fighter jets though. It's also about giving them the flexibility to adapt to changing situations on the fly. Imagine you're a fighter pilot engaged in a dogfight. You're dodging missiles, chasing bogeys, and your fuel gauge is heading south faster than a flock of geese in winter. Without aerial refueling, you'd be forced to break off the engagement and head back to base, potentially giving the enemy the upper hand. But with a tanker aircraft standing by, you can top off your tanks and get right back in the fight. It's like having a pit stop during the Indy 500, except with more danger and fewer checkered flags. And for missions that require long loiter times over a target, like search and rescue or surveillance, aerial refueling is essential. It allows aircraft to stay airborne for hours on end, providing critical support to troops on the ground or gathering valuable intelligence. Section 6. More than just gas. The future of fueling up in the friendly skies. So, what's next for the world of aerial refueling? Well, just like everything else, it's getting more advanced all the time. We're talking autonomous tanker aircraft that can fly themselves into position, robotic boom operators that can refuel multiple aircraft simultaneously, and maybe even laser-based energy transfer systems that could beam power to aircraft wirelessly. It's enough to make your head spin, but one thing's for sure. As long as we have aircraft in the sky, we're gonna need ways to keep them fueled up and ready for action. And aerial refueling, in all its complexity and audacity, will continue to be a vital part of that equation. So next time you see a fighter jet streak across the sky, remember the unsung heroes working behind the scenes, the pilots and boom operators who keep those birds flying high. They may not get all the glory, but they're doing a job that's dirty, dangerous, and absolutely essential to keeping our skies